Hello and welcome to Movie of the Year, the only podcast with the science and the screaming to determine the best movie for any given year. Of course, this season we are focusing on 1997, a time when I was in high school and I was young, dumb, and my pockets were absolutely full of gum. Joining me tonight is champion and current best friend, Ryan. Ryan, how you doing?
I thought for sure you were going to say cum, like all up in your pockets.
No, I would never do that.
And I hate...
Not in my sweet pockets where I store all my gums.
I hate to reveal stuff about you from the past, but I'll just do it. You were a big cargo shorts kid in high school?
Yes,
that would have been so much cum.
I'm talking a lot of pockets. Yeah, the huge ones on the side. Also joining me is Mike. Mike, hello. How are you doing? You are a challenger.
Thank you. Yes, I'm here to challenge, here to be challenged.
Now, if I remember
Hopefully,
correctly, the Challenger was the spacecraft that successfully went up into space and had a great time.
Yeah, handled it all.
Okay, very good.
Did it all.
Very good. Also blowing up tonight is Taylor. Taylor, how you doing?
I'm doing real bad because my brain is broken, and the thing that is stuck in my head is pockets full of cum. These wounds, they will not heal.
The wounds still won't heal.
The wounds still won't heal.
Cum keeps wounds open.
Yeah, that's just...
The crowd, our live studio audience, usually very quiet but boisterously booing for quite a long time.
Uh-oh.
A fun thing we decided to do, producer Dave came up with, like, what if we mic the crowd? Nobody's ever done it before. What if we just gave the crowd a voice?
And I think it's impressive what producer Dave is doing because we just have the one other mic. So he is running around the crowd as fast as he can.
There
to get them all.
will be no Q's or A's, but you will get your voice on.
I have been that person at a Q&A before and because they had one microphone and they didn't even have an extra microphone for the people. So I had to run through the aisles and ask the question and then run up to the front to get the response.
Oh, my God.
Did you whip everybody with the cord, or was it a wireless?
It was a wireless, luckily.
Were you running with that intensity of, like, the ball boys at Wimbledon?
Oh, yeah, no. I was definitely, like, Naruto running. I had the hands back.
I would have said, here's a cue, kiss my A, and then drop the mic and just never talk to any of them again.
That's not a question.
The audience responding to that, man, I don't know. When the audience goes off like that, maybe I got to give you a point. Also, Taylor, for mentioning the Naruto running, no points. But, hey, I see you, buddy.
Okay, I'll take it.
Was Naruto Akira?
Naruto was Akira.
He was an Akira in...
Detective Pikachu?
He's in a different Akira, but he plays the Akira in that one.
Yeah, he plays the Akira in another Akira.
And he has a way of running that anime speculates would, for some reason, be faster than the established...
No, science also. That's everybody who's ever won an Olympic race.
If you put your arms backwards like that, you don't run faster.
The river dance run. Don't move waist up at all.
It looks like he's preparing to do a deadlift for no reason.
Guys, I have gathered you today in our extra spicy hot studio to talk about Jackie Brown. First off, what is your history with the movie Jackie Brown? Does it play a large part in your personal, like, cinema history?
Never seen it.
I just remember, still to this point,
you still have
to watch these movies, Taylor. What the fuck?
I'm gonna watch it during the break.
I just remember the amount of pressure and pressure on me for having watched and liked Pulp Fiction. It was like, you better sit down and you better fucking love this shit,
Don't
bro.
look away.
You might miss a Pulp Fiction-like thing.
Don't look away for 1 second.
I remember loving it, and I don't really remember why, because I think I was a dumb idiot back then, but I remember loving it, and I think then it was in my stupid group of friends. They're like, nothing's as good as Pulp Fiction. How dare you like this other movie?
And does that mean you like it as much as Pulp Fiction?
Back then I think I was very punk rock. I was like, this might be better, and thankfully history might be like, what if young Mike was right?
It's really hard because Pulp Fiction has been like canonized in such a way that like you sort of can't compare it to other things unless they're in that upper echelon.
It feels like it's less alive for that. I feel like it's been like laminated or like put in Luxite or something. Like that movie feels dead to me because of how much we all say we love it.
Yes.
And this movie feels more alive because it's like a sleepier, smaller project.
The most forgotten Tarantino movie.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't come up in conversation at all.
And now that like it's not his next thing after Pulp Fiction, like we just watched it 20 years later and all of that shit's gone. It's so good. It was so good.
I'm like Mike. I liked it so much, but while I was watching it, I was surprised that 1997 Greg liked it so much. I guess I feel like I'm supposed to be way smarter than he is, but when I was that age watching that movie, I was hip to what was going on.
What if you're way dumber now?
You guys,
the fear.
Straight up, I think there is a good chance. Remember from Magnolia where William H. Macy says, I used to be smart, now I'm just dumb? You guys, I think about that all the time.
I've been thinking about that this entire week. I think this week I have become a dumb person.
Yeah, dude, you're about the age. You're around the age where it just really sets
It all
in.
goes downhill.
That's helping me a lot, Greg.
Your brain your brain stops expanding, and as soon as it stops expanding, it just starts shrinking.
But I mean, the biggest problem I think for all of us is that like we used to like read or write and then reflect.
Yeah.
By ourselves, and now
the 3 R's.
Now all we do is just watch things with like this intense, like what am I gonna fuck up Taylor with? Like when we talk about this. That's the only reason we watch anything anymore.
So competition makes us dumber.
I think so. Yeah.
That's why we do it. Competition. It makes us dumber. Well, we're gonna jump in and address a lot of those issues, but before we do, road trip time. Mount Rushmore is a big display they have on the back of an 18-wheeler, and they drive it all over the country every summer. And we were lucky enough to get to check it out this summer. And what we noticed is instead of putting 4 heads up on Mount Rushmore, for whatever reason, they just had 4 like blank spaces. And so we thought, you know what we're going to do? We're going to replace those 4 heads with 4 of your garden variety 1997 Hot Boys. And I think now when they drive this thing from coast to coast, everyone will stop and tip their hat.
97 is an interesting year for our Hot Boys because it's possible to just be like super butt before that and butt now, but you might have that 97 essence that shoots you to the mountain.
Something about it.
We do have to sort of put ourselves in a 97 mind frame because I think that we have to remember what was hot on our boys in 97.
How bad haircuts were.
Yeah, exactly. Like really bad haircuts.
No one looked good in 1997.
The 90s were rough.
I wouldn't say any boy was really that hot. We got some of the boys we've gotten nowadays, you guys, really hot.
Science made these new
really
boys.
hot boys.
It was a big year for acne. Have we solved acne since then?
Yeah, I do think Proactive came out. Accutane ruined people's hormones and stomachs, but at least they are hotter.
I think makeup has gotten a lot more advanced as well. I think now most times when we see somebody, they are like, there's like an inch of makeup painted on their face.
Have you seen a Sephora recently? It's like the new Apple.
Yeah, the makeup geniuses just.
All right, yeah. So that one was dead.
You know what? This is the podcast people come to just fucking dish on Sephora.
What else is at the mall right now?
Have you guys been to a Lush?
I love Lush. Okay, man, I'm gonna talk forever.
Fucking damn it!
All right, should have said Lush.
Eco-friendly. It's good for the environment. It's good for your skin. Go to a Lush. I know it looks. My wife has no idea what anything does. They don't look like the normal lotions and shampoos that you're used to.
You can just go in there and wash your hands 25 times if you want. If that's your thing, you just go there.
I'm just going to wait till you guys start talking about Spencer's Gifts, the only mall store that matters.
Well, I think we all have malls on the mind because tonight is Jackie Brown, and so much of the action takes place in a deliciously preserved 1997 mall. I remember when I saw Stranger Things recently, I was like, man, they really recreated the mall of the 80s. And for a second, when Jackie Brown was on, I was like, man, this really does look like a mall from the 90s. Yeah, dipshit. It's a mall from the 90s. That's where they filmed it, you idiot.
It's less impressive.
That's why it looks like that, you stupid
No, I
moron.
do think at some point they do say that the movie takes place in 95. So they had to do a bunch of stuff to like 2
There
years
you
back
go.
the mall.
There you go. I had to dial back the clock.
There's no Wetzel's Pretzels yet. That wouldn't come till 98.
It's just Auntie Anne.
We didn't know. Taylor.
Yes.
I happened to look at you in just that moment. Why don't you start me off with a 97 Hot Boy?
Okay, great. I got first pick. This is a perfect time to put something right on the mountain.
Excellent.
So
yeah.
that's why my nomination for Hot Boys going right up on that mountain is The Hot Boys, a.k.a.
No.
the rap group formed by Lil Wayne, Juvenile, and the other two in 1997.
I love how this whole 97 season you've been pretending to be a Wu-Tang fan, and now finally you can reveal what you actually are
It's
into.
fucking Hot Boys.
How old were they when they were in this?
Like 14 or 15.
Wow.
Like they were legit like just young kids. I think some of them were like 17
Just
or 18.
legit
I don't know if they were all the
kids.
same age, but yeah.
Wait, so it was like a 17-year-old and an 18-year-old hanging out with 2 14-year-olds? I don't like
maybe.
that.
That's high school.
But yeah, Lil Wayne was like 15. And they formed the Hot Boys.
And
they were the Hot Boys of 1997.
This is the group that the pop star Never Stoppin' is actually talking about, right?
really based on?
I think so.
When
Well-
you said the Hot Boys, I was hoping you were talking about the Meaty Cheesy Boys.
When I say
the
meat,
greatest boy band of the era.
Meat and cheese and meat, and that's it.
That's their big single.
Well, I gotta say, if they are called the Hot Boys,
They're called the Hot Boys.
and they're a band in '97, right up on the mountain. Congratulations!
that's insane.
That's
Nobody
ridiculous.
knew the
Like,
Hot
what are
Boys
we
in
doing
97.
here?
This is bunk.
This is the only time an insane thing has happened on Rushmore that I felt happy with.
Can't-
The bunkest bullshit that's ever
Can
bunked.
you deny that they're the Hot Boys?
You can't. That's their name.
Just because I'd never heard of this band and didn't know it existed doesn't mean it wasn't iconic in '97. All right, Ryan. A lot of people are thinking that you guys got screwed on that last one. In fact, the audience is starting to let me have it. Okay, calm down. And I want them back with a getter down. They're all happy again. Ryan, can you give me someone that goes right up on the mountain?
Yeah, I want to. I typically just want to focus on that year and not just pick the hottest boys of all time.
Okay.
But it was such Leo's year that
Yeah.
year. And I know that he can win like most of the 90s, all of the aughts, all of the aught 10s, but this was it.
The Titanic year?
Yeah.
Because really, that's peak DiCaprio in terms of dreamy, hot boyness, right?
Right.
Yeah. He's still, like, young and boyish, but he's, like, a bit of a roustabout, I'll say it.
Oh, he's quite a
Yeah.
mess. But this might be the first year he could win. Before this, he was a little too young. What's before, like Basketball Diaries?
Well, Romeo and Juliet
okay.
and Basketball
So
Diaries. So
that's the
first.
that combo
Yeah.
fucked up a lot of girls at this time.
Sure.
And then
A lot of boys.
There's got to be a reason why Titanic was number one for 15 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
I bet he has something to do with it.
Yeah, the movie, the camera's absolutely in love with him. It's weird. The camera's in love with him, the camera's in love with Kate Winslet, and the two of them kind of indifferent towards each
Whatever.
other.
Whatever.
Well, that, of course, goes right up on the mountain. That is perhaps the second best answer I've heard so far.
Shit. I hate this.
There you go, your boy Ryan, right on time, exactly when you ordered it. Mike, a lot of pressure.
I think with the big buildup we said, let's remember how fug and weird 97 was.
Yeah.
And now I'll fall on the sword. It's up to me. He's forgotten now, but 1997 with I Know What You Did Last Summer no longer was the world a buzz about Freddie Prinze Sr. Now it would be Freddie Prinze Jr.'s time to shine.
Move over, Dad.
With his like leather and or puka shell necklace wearing like 8 shirts because that was the way at the time, and his perfectly flat on top spiking the front hair.
Everything that Freddie Prinze Jr. ever put on his body was the worst thing
It was
to
bad.
ever
Yeah.
happen.
He was always like making things worse.
The weirdest, and I think he made this really happen, is the T-shirt, like a graphic tee underneath an unbuttoned suit shirt. I'm going to ruin every piece of clothing I have
And
on.
wasn't he also Fred, the
Yes, he
worst
was.
dressed cartoon
Uh-huh.
character in the history of time?
Well, you take that back. No one can rock an ascot like Fred.
Well, that is a hot maybe.
I
I'm
think
going to
it's
put him
decent.
right on the top of the hot maybe pile. Taylor,
Yes.
a little daylight here. Might be an opening for you, bud.
All right, I'm going to throw someone on here who 97 was their breakout year.
Have we heard of them?
You have heard of them.
Yeah, try to say something non-controversial that way
Yes.
when I give you
this
the point.
one.
Yeah.
This was the beginning of like every like mom going like, "Oh yeah, okay," and a lot of young women. Matt Damon in 1997 burst onto the scene, and everyone's like, "That dude's pretty cute." He's like that very 1997 level cute, where it's like this guy could be in Hanson.
So
Yeah.
on the Rushmore of hot boys, you want someone who moms think is kind of cute.
Yes, because he is specifically like that weird kind of hot that 97 was crazy for.
I will say
hair.
this: when we go to chisel the rock face, it's the least amount of chiseling. Like
Yeah.
he already looks like an Easter Island person.
He's just like, for some reason, 1997 went gaga for Matt Damon. And then people continued to be like, yeah, Matt Damon's like a hot superstar. And now I think we've
Really?
caught on. We're like, no, that's not true.
Well, I'm going to put this on the maybe pile. Maybe I'm too wrapped up in modern day Damon, but I have trouble seeing him as a sexual object
MDD?
at all. But this was definitely from his hot boy phase, or at
Yeah.
least closer to it. If he weren't such a genius, maybe it'd be easier. But
Right, but you can't be smart and beautiful.
and hot, yeah, it's just too hard. All right, Ryan, this is definitely an opening for you, bud.
All right, I love where your head was at. Freddie Prinze Jr. is perfect. I'm going to take this one step, 97er maybe. The hair, the face, the clothes. It's Devin Sawa.
Oh, yeah.
Devin Sawa was rocking butts across the coast all
okay,
year
You
long.
know that phrase.
This is my turn to say you're making something up. Is
You
this
know
someone
the
that we've
Saw?
heard of?
What is Devin Sawa?
Wild America
Yeah.
and Idle Hands. But I think the where he caught America's attention was he was real life Casper.
Yes.
So this is the year
that
before.
bubble ghost got hot.
But when they showed Casper what he looked like when he was alive, and all the girls were like, "Damn!"
It really was a tragedy that this young boy died because he was so fuckable.
It turned into like a chubby little ghost.
Well,
Now and then you almost see his wang. Girls like that too.
oh, you almost get some wang
Yeah.
action. If you got that wang, that would have been right up on the mountain.
It's shot in like a sunset, so it's just his silhouette jumping naked into a water. And my sister definitely was like, pause.
Meanwhile, like on set, his whole dick would be in that weird sock thing.
Mm-hmm.
So if
Yeah.
you did see anything, it would just be disconcerting and terrible.
But
Like
a sock
long,
shaped like
flat
Casper.
dick.
Those dick socks, though, are crazy. It is very hard to fix those.
You know what? Let's move on from that. I don't want to hear.
We're
the
gonna
story.
move right on. I'm gonna put him on the maybe pile.
He ruled Tiger Beat in '97.
That's all I'm thinking about. Tiger Beat.
Tiger
you know?
Beat. That's if you're a hot boy, Tiger Beat's the
More,
way to go.
more like Tiger beating off.
Like this is your absolute last opportunity, buddy. Last
I have
chance
two.
saloon right here.
Okay, I'm thinking '97 hot boy, so I'm gonna lean younger. This guy also started to crush Tiger Beat. His breakout year, I thought Taylor was ramping up to this, and so he was like, moms loved him. Moms would not love him for so long. But '97, his second album, My Way, came out. And My Way, people were like, maybe we should take this little R&B kid seriously. And Ursh started blowing up the charts. And Ursher has always been sexy and will always be sexy. And this is the first year people are like, oh, fuck. Who dat? Fuck you.
Well, I've got a nice stable of maybes, so I'm going to put him on there. And then I'm going to survey and pick two of these. So, Ryan, who do I got in my maybe pile?
You got Freddie Prinze Jr., you have
Okay.
Matt Damon, you have Devin Sawa, and you have Usher.
I'm going to say Freddie Prinze Jr. on
Yes.
the mountain.
The
So that's-
FPJ.
Yeah, that's
that-
for
that
you,
checks
Mike.
out.
I'm very excited.
Shout out to Freddie Prinze, the best
And
Freddie.
then I'm going to say Usher.
Yeah!
Usher will also get on the
Wow.
mountain.
Okay.
I thought we were doing that whole thing where Mike doesn't get points.
No, I think this is one of the games where Mike can score. Congratulations to you, Mike. Ryan, tell us who the mountain is.
We have Freddie Prinze Jr. and Usher.
Yes.
We've got the king of the world himself, Leonardo DiCaprio. And then we have the Hot Boys.
Man,
The greatest upset in history.
everyone on that mountain belongs equally,
Absolutely.
including the one guy who's four guys, two guys we've never even heard of.
Just so I know if I could do a little prep for next week.
Yeah, you
was
gotta-
there a girl component to the Hot Boys? That
Listen, I'm not going to say.
damn it.
That's for him to know. And us to get mad
And
about.
us to find out next week. But no, we're not ready to end the show just yet. In fact, we're just getting to our first question. Riding high on the success of Pulp Fiction, Quentin Tarantino bought the rights to 3 Elmore Leonard novels. In classic Tarantino fashion, he told someone else they could adapt Rum Punch before deciding he would do it himself once he removed as much plot as possible and changed enough to create a love letter to blaxploitation actress Pam Grier, who would play Jackie Brown herself. Gunrunners, ruthless lawmen, crooked bail bondsmen, and a flight attendant running them all. Jackie Brown has all the ingredients of a Tarantino flick, but the unveiled at a pace where everyone can actually breathe. Taste buds, I ask you this. Given that Jackie Brown has a much more relaxed pace than Quentin Tarantino's other films, what is distinctly Tarantino about this third movie?
The
Feet?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
feet.
and-
The fucking feet.
For sure.
Let's get the feet out of the way so Ryan won't puke.
Let's address the feet in the room.
Okay, now every instance of him doing feet is equally pornographic, but this one includes she's like dipping her little toesies.
Yeah.
Into the
Yes.
whiskey.
We
And that's how
finally-
you get scotch. That's that peaty feety smell.
We finally have a character who treats feet like they should be.
Yeah.
I mean, Robert De Niro doesn't like chop them off, but he's like, I'm just going to move my drinky poo a little bit over
He's
here.
hard to read as Lewis, but he hates it, right? Like,
Yeah.
that look is not like the same way the camera is looking at her feet.
No, I think he sprung that on Robert De Niro. He didn't know that was going to happen. So he's just like, this was my real ass drink. What the fuck's going on?
When you guys saw a thing like put the camera in the trunk,
Yeah.
did it scream out like, "Oh, okay, he's doing a QT thing"?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
for sure.
because I am aware of like that's the QT thing. But I think the things that really did it was like in conversations, like when Jackie is talking to Max, and it just like cuts away to just like a luscious view of her filling up a coffee cup with coffee. It's just like those things are extremely Quentin Tarantino things, and those are the things that I think it's that and the dialogue are the Tarantino things.
So I don't think this is like as stylized as Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
No.
Like they really talk like characters in Pulp Fiction, which I'm
Yes.
not shit talking, but
And
this
it's more reserved in almost every other way than his other movies. as
right,
well.
And which is weird. You would think that this would come 6 movies after Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
You would just want to like cling on to whatever made Pulp Fiction famous. But yeah, it's the dialogue, not in the stylized way, but in the amount that is not
Yeah.
plot important.
Right.
Like Rum Punch really burns through plot, and this one, like the QT thing, is these characters are cool. What if we hung out with them?
And it feels like, so Pulp Fiction, there's a lot of characters are cool, but they have so much to fucking do. You don't get to just like see them breathe. And here he's just like, I really do want to just watch Jackie Brown walk down the street to see how she would react to the world.
And the opening bit with when we first are introduced to Samuel L. Jackson's character, and they just have that entire long-ass conversation about guns for really no reason.
Including watching the video?
Yeah, it's like a 10-minute scene of them just talking, and that reminded me a lot of the opening of Pulp Fiction where they're having a conversation about foot massages.
Mm-hmm. And what's interesting is at that point you think he's kind of like a fake.
Yeah.
You know, that Ordell's maybe not a tough guy, and that makes him seem so weird.
Yeah.
But then the whole rest of the movie revolves around those machine guns. And so it's interesting the way that the first time you watch it, you think that some scenes are kind of like throwaway dialogue scenes where they just happen to be talking about something. But I watched it 2 times before this show, and the second time around, every conversation they have is actually like totally germane to what's going on.
There's one where Ordell has so much of this, this like dialogue, build a character, hang out kind of stuff, and he is making fun of Lewis and Bridget Fonda, Melanie, and because they're high already, and it's like noon. He's like, "Oh, okay. Well, I like to get high at night when my job is done, and but you guys do you." The whole point was to say like, I'm going to remind you guys I'm a businessman because you guys, I don't think you know me as a businessman, so I'm going to remind you that I'm a That's his entire goal there.
Yeah,
you know?
Let them know that he's serious. That's just, like so much of it. He's either trying to establish that he is serious, but not seeming super competent, or just being suddenly very deadly and scary.
And I think there's something interesting the movie does, because with his introduction there and Jackie Brown's long, just like hustling to get to work, both of them. So the whole time I'm like, how is this flight attendant going to get pulled into this thing she certainly has no part of and is super innocent? And with him, you think he's an incompetent fuck up. And then it's this really subtle thing, and I don't think QD is known for being subtle, is like, no, you can't look at somebody instantly and know, I know exactly how you go through the world.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, that's how it's the least arc, but that's how the cops arc, right?
Yes.
Like, they're mostly 2-dimensional characters, but if there was some 3D, their job basically relies on them summing up people immediately.
Yeah.
And then Jackie sort of teaches them that, like, you can't really do that. Despite the way I look or who I work for, what my past is, you can't really do that.
Yeah. One thing that I thought was very different in the way this movie was shot is, and made it seem different from his other movies, is because it is this like hangout movie, the ratio is really square. It's like 1.85 by 1, and that is very like almost feels like a TV screen rather than a movie screen. And then the shots are so close in on people's faces that the movie feels very small at times, where like watching like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood or Inglourious Bastards, those movies have like a lot of verticality to them. They have like a lot of like panorama type shots, and the smallness of this really struck me. It was almost claustrophobic.
Especially in like the thing that I noticed most in that vein was the very end of the movie when Max and Jackie have that kiss, and it just slowly zooms in, and then as the phone comes in, it just slowly like pans out. So it plays a lot with that like closeness in moments of intimacy, and then just slightly farther, but still very close.
Yeah,
when they're not being as intimate.
It seems like so many of his movies are modern epics, and that's you see the panoramas. And this is like, even if you're Ordell and this is your life you've chosen, it is claustrophobic. You don't have other choices now. You're just kind of shoved into a way.
Right. I mean, at a certain point in the movie, they're like, everyone's worried about everyone.
Yeah.
But like, Greg, what you were saying, I wonder if the movie actually is sort of like an experiment in stakes. Like, we need all of these big people having these big plots. But for this one, I'm just going to try to make it as small and personal as possible.
Yeah.
And then that's when you bring the camera up in on that.
Well, I think that is important, because the widest you see, at least from my memory, is when it pans way out. And
right.
Yes, that's suddenly like you're like, oh, shit, this is a crane shot?
Yeah.
Because they filmed the whole conversation.
Yeah.
It's such a standout scene, though. Like, there's nothing else in the movie like that.
Right. But and that's like shooting a murder, which in most other movies would be like the big deal, and this one they're just like, you're not even going to see it. Like, it's just off in the distance.
We're very far away from the car, but we're close enough to still hear Chris Tucker scream one last thing before he gets shot.
Yeah, like, why? Let me out of this stupid car.
Like, I think that's a section where, like, there is still violence and like murder in this movie, but it is as opposed to like Pulp Fiction, where it's just like there's blood everywhere.
By the time it arrives, though, it arrives in a big way, right? Like that is the first like act of violence at all in the entire movie, and the tension like of sort of like. Ordell has bad intentions, and Chris Tucker's character knows that he has bad intentions. So the tension, like, really is drawn out through the entire scene. But that's like 45 minutes into the movie or something before there's any violence, and it's not shown.
And then there's none for a long time after that.
Yeah.
So often violence in Tarantino is like this cartoonish chainsaw, and here it just hits. It matters to these characters because even if they are gangsters, their life tends to not be violent.
Which is weird because back when Pulp Fiction came out, we didn't really care about gun violence. It was like all funny and fine. But it still seems like in a lot of ways Jackie Brown is a response because Pulp Fiction is this like very heightened realism with almost no repercussions. Like you could just leave a dead body and it'll be fine. And then Jackie Brown, every single ounce of violence comes back to like really bite everyone in the ass.
It is a movie about repercussions.
Right.
Well, and when it's a hangout movie, and you're supposed to like enjoy watching this movie multiple times, which I think it does work on that level. But one of the things you end up thinking about is like these three people talking, they all die.
Yeah.
And two of them kill, like they kill each other. Everyone in this scene kills each other. And it's like, wow, that's dark.
But I will say, like, you brought up the repercussions. On the flip side, this is a movie where no one ever responds, like, visibly to a gunshot. Yeah. Like, every single, like, all of these people who die get shot in public, and no one in any scene ever responds to it. Everyone just, like, walks away.
Yeah.
It's, like, that was very weird to me, but like
that's the Del Amo Mall life, baby.
Yeah.
You get used to it.
Like he straight up shoots Melanie in the parking lot, and no one.
And you don't even hear like as he drives away somebody noticed.
Yeah,
it's just like it almost doesn't happen.
Which is different than Pulp Fiction because Butch hits Marcellus or Marcellus Wallace, and 40 people in the town come and run over to him.
Well, I wonder if it's talking about like because it's if it's a claustrophobic movie, not just how it looks, but this is very important to these characters. But $500,000 is laughable in a movie, and so it's so important to them, and the rest of the world doesn't give a shit about a random beach girl shot in a parking lot over $50,000. Like it's too tiny.
The stakes in this movie are perfect because most people, when you see a movie, you expect to hear like $45 million.
Yeah.
But most people who go see movies, $500,000 would fucking change their
Oh,
lives.
for sure.
So it is big stakes.
It reminds me of like a Coen Brothers movie.
Yeah,
where like they do a
totally.
lot of that with like it's just like very low stakes, but enough that like all of these people are going to spin out over.
Well, yeah, live or die by it.
Coen Brothers is perfect because in Pulp Fiction or Tarantino's other movies, they're movie criminals. Like they are criminals that belong in movies, but Coen's do like what if normal people were in a movie, and that's how Jackie Brown feels.
Like this feels a lot like what if Brad Pitt, the fitness trainer, like got pulled over for like had some cocaine and had to do all of this shit. Like it feels a lot like that.
That's your go-to Coen Brothers movie?
Yeah, Burn After Reading, guys. Burn After Reading is a great fucking movie.
We're gonna talk.
We've
during
never
the break.
talked about the Coen Brothers, but looking at Taylor, I could guess that he is a Burn After Reading stan.
Is there anything else that you can think of that makes this movie feel like a response to Pulp Fiction, or that like he's reacting to?
I don't know about response, but I think definitely the thing that crosses over the most is the soundtrack, because that's just a Tarantino deal.
Yeah, he didn't seem to go a different way.
Not
with
that it's the same as Pulp Fiction, but it has its
That
own
would be-
distinct
right.
soundtrack.
That would be really weird.
Yeah, why did they do that, dude?
But it's, I think they use it the same way with the like having it on the radio and then cutting out it at occasion and like just bits like that.
To pull you in and out, like what is the characters listening to and what is just for us. And like classic Tarantino is here's an actor that's not been in anything forever, but I'm gonna pull him in and like revitalize him.
That's
but
true,
it does feel like Jackie Brown is like his Pinkerton, where nobody reacted the way he thought they would, and then he was like, "Fine, fuck you. I'm gonna cram Pulp Fiction shit down your throats for years."
Dude, that's true. It's almost like he said, like I can do this. I don't have to be a type of director. I can just be a director. And then it didn't hit in the way that he expected.
But yeah, I can see. Like I love most of his movies, but I can see him saying like, "Oh, you want the Green Album Django one changed?
Right.
Fine, jerks."
that's Weezer as fuck.
My favorite QT moment in the whole thing is I think that this is the most reserved he's ever been.
Yeah.
Like that's basically what Mike just said. But there's one awesome moment that is like wink at the camera, but also the right amount of like jerking off on yourself, and that is Jackie Brown can't do the back half of the movie until she puts on her Tarantino costume.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
That's when she puts on the black suit with the white shirt, and now it's time to be Tarantino.
I've been eyeing this.
I wanted to ask you about that because it's so pointed that it almost feels like it's a commentary on, wouldn't you expect me to do something like
Right.
this? But that makes her part of the gang, right? She is indisputably a part of like the band apart group.
Right.
She's worn the fucking suit, even if she's never been in like a lineup before.
In the big Tarantino Avengers.
Yeah. In the shared universe, she's someone. She's one of the people.
It's surprising that Stuck in the Middle with You isn't just playing while she's putting it on.
The other little thing that I think Tarantino just sticks very strictly to, and he does it in this movie, is the fade to black act breaks. Where you know when the first act is over and the second act begins because he's gonna fade to black.
And you know what's weird about that too is Mike pointed this out when we were watching it, is the shit written on the screen gets more and more audacious. Like, it just starts off as like a time,
location.
and then like towards the end of the movie, he's just talking to you.
Yeah.
He's like, Del Amo Mall, I love this place.
Got my first HJ by the Foster's Freeze.
Yeah.
And an Orange Julius.
After a little while, it's just like the director's commentary that they wouldn't pay him to do. So he's like, "Fuck you guys, I'll put it in the movie."
This is Pam's idea to do this shot. When we come back, we're going to move into the land of Patreon-only listeners where the creeks run cold, but only for the people who give us a little bit of that skadoosh. And what we're going to be doing is picking the 5. So Patreon listeners, stay tuned for that. If you're not a Patreon listener, think about it, man.
Just go to patreon.com/SharePopFilter.
Just think about it. Just for only the cost of one grand piano a month, you can give us, what's about a grand piano? $1,000. $1,000 a month.
And that is, we'll make a movie about your life.
And that's, we make a movie every month. We make a movie.
We might want to jump that one up a little bit.
No,
I'd rather
I'm
deliver
doing
them a grand piano.
When we come back, we're going to do that and even more. You know what skadoosh means? It means we're moving on to a new segment, and that segment is, of course, trivia. All right. I wrote the questions. I know the answers. Let me get all the way to the end because I worked very hard on these like a good boy. And you ring in by saying your name, and you get one guess. Maybe 2 guesses if you're Taylor. What brand of hat is fancied by Ordell Robbie?
Ryan.
Taylor.
Ryan.
Kangol?
It's a Kangol. Ryan. It's so favored by him that he wears one in basically every scene, and then in suddenly one of the scenes,
Jackie Brown.
Jackie Brown is also wearing one. And part of me wondered about a universe where every character, like a new character,
It's a
every
They
scene
Live.
has on a Kangol.
It's spreading.
If you're in that situation, you just like slowly pull it off, right? There can only be one Kangol per mall table.
No, they both showed up with it and then refused to back
They're
down.
both wearing backwards Kangles at the same table in a food court.
Is
Can't
this
be
the
done.
movie that gave real life Samuel L. Jackson his Kangol love?
I wondered if he was like, I'm going to wear a Kangol all the time. Because he still does that.
Yeah.
Still backwards Kangles all day long. What is noteworthy about Max Cherry's discussing the procedure he had for his hairline?
Mike.
Robert
Forster really had it, told Tarantino, and then Tarantino was like, fuck that, we're putting that in the movie.
Totally, yeah, that was something that really happened to him, and he's like, I don't feel bad about it, and we could talk about it. And it fits thematically, right?
Yeah.
That's very cool. Samuel L. Jackson shot his scenes on the weekends as he was working on what movie at the time?
Taylor.
Snakes
on a Plane.
Not Snakes on a Plane. That came out a short time later.
Mike. Spheres?
Yes! Well,
What?
Ryan.
It's Sphere.
Damn it.
I'm going to give you the point because it's not Jeopardy. What? It's not an Aliens situation.
Yeah, those are different movies. There was no sequel to Sphere.
That's not a real movie.
What does
Michael Crichton.
Michael
Bitch.
Crichton? Dude, check it out.
The book, not the movie.
I refuse.
Yeah, one of the worst adaptations of all time.
He's only had one good movie book, right?
Just one of the greatest movies of all
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
But
Lost
that one
World.
time.
Huh?
The Lost World.
Exactly.
What does Ordell say 37 times in the movie?
Ryan.
Ryan.
The N-word.
Not the N-word.
Taylor. Hey.
Mike.
Not, hey, I'm Ordell. How's everybody doing here? Mike.
Motherfucker.
He says motherfucker 37 times.
Okay, I thought it was
Did you cheat?
No, I thought
You
it's what-
fucking cheated.
I thought it's
Yeah,
what
what
you
the
said.
fuck?
If
You
it wasn't,
motherfucker.
if it
What
wasn't that,
is-
it has to be that.
What is noteworthy about this?
Taylor.
Taylor.
It set a record for most motherfuckers.
It's, I'll give you the point. It's the most times he himself has ever said it
Oh.
in a movie. What word is said 38 times in the movie?
Ryan.
Taylor. Ryan.
Is that the N-word?
That's the N-word,
Okay.
ringing in at one more time than the other word. Spike Lee was like, okay, I have a problem with this.
Yeah.
And he counted, and I wondered which number was like, that's it. That's too much.
Yeah,
What was the
Surely
line?
they're done. Oh, no, there's 10 more?
because he's like, I know who wrote this script.
Yeah.
You can't fool me.
At least in this one, Quentin Tarantino didn't deliver any himself.
Yes,
Yeah.
that is
Yeah.
a big bonus.
Apparently, Tarantino tried to call him, and he was like, "No, thanks. I don't feel like I need to chat with you."
The other thing too is how front loaded it is. Like,
Yeah.
when we meet Ordell, he rips off like 20 in a row.
Yeah,
Then they really slow burn the rest.
it makes it hard not to spend the rest of the time being like, every time two characters of color are speaking to each other, being like, "A weird squirrely white guy wrote this." Like this. Don't forget.
Is it we all know Tarantino's penchant almost more than feet.
Yeah.
He loves that word. How many times do you think Samuel Jackson slipped it in himself? At any point was Tarantino like too much? I wrote a few, but too much.
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that, but I have a hard time believing it. That he's like, "Ooh, this is too."
He's just like
many."
more.
Yeah, because he's like. He's one of these white guys who's like, "I'm going to strip that word of all its power," and
And that's up to him. He can
Yeah.
do it.
He didn't add any N-words, but he added "Go see Sphere" in cinema soon, like 6 or 7 times.
Spheres. Check out Spheres. All right. The song playing
Sphere.
during Jackie's arraignment is "Longtime Woman," performed by whom? Taylor.
Greg?
It's
Ryan,
Ryan.
Taylor.
It's not Taylor.
Mike.
No,
Ryan?
"Longtime Woman" is a song by Pam Grier.
Oh,
When Pam Grier went to audition for the role of Jackie Brown, what did Quentin Tarantino have plastered all over his walls?
Ryan.
Ryan.
Pam
Steven.
Grier movie posters.
Pam Grier movie posters. A point for Ryan. What did she ask him about the posters?
Ryan,
Ryan.
did you put these up just for me?
Point to Ryan. And what did he
That's way better than
reply?
mine.
I've heard the story before. Ryan.
Ryan?
I said no. I thought about taking them down because
Down
you were
because
coming
you were
over.
going over.
Wait, you freaked out if I cheated 2 seconds ago because I guessed a number.
I heard a story before, Mike. What do you want me to do?
Okay.
Forget the story?
Yes, because
These-
otherwise it's cheating.
My
This-
guess was jerk-off material.
This trivia is originally composed only by me, full of facts that I found through rigorous research. So I couldn't imagine anybody would have access to them ahead of time. I think you guys are just really good at guessing.
Thank you, Gregory.
Do you guys remember in Nakatomi Plaza where all the construction scenes were just plastered with jerk-off material?
Yeah, I did.
Just nude girls everywhere.
Yeah.
That's construction. That's why they're catcalling all
So,
the
like,
time.
as you're walking from one part of the dig site to the other, you, like, stop and look at a picture on the wall? Is that
And
it?
practice one cat call.
Oh, hey, baby, you're only two-dimensional, but using three-dimensional me, right? Come sit on my face.
I don't know what he said most of that, but I know I'm offended.
I understood every word, and it was the most beautiful poetry I've ever heard.
It was actually not a very good cat call. It was, you're three-dimensional to me.
you're
I don't think I
three-dimensional
understand
to me.
cat
Get
calling.
better at catcalling, Greg.
Hey, girl, you exist in all the dimensions that are perceivable.
Greg likes the
Hey, girl,
response.
I respect your autonomy. Have a good day.
Greg likes the response where the girl's like, "Fuck you." Wait, what?
Respect
And
my-
now you're in a conversation.
Hey, girl, you have a body.
Sometimes what I do is when a really attractive girl walks by, I just don't say anything to her or bother her at all.
Whoa.
Where's
Power move.
Where's my fucking award for just-
Ryan,
Ryan.
it's right here.
Thank you, Ryan.
No
Oh my
problem.
gosh. You guys, how did you know that I wanted an award?
It says Alan Tudyk on it, but don't worry about that.
Who did Michael Keaton try desperately to talk Quentin Tarantino out of casting in the movie?
Taylor.
Mike.
Michael Keaton.
Yeah, Michael Keaton. And Quentin Tarantino has said that like Michael Keaton's just very insecure, and apparently that's like a thing he does.
But
You
he's
know, you
just
can
not
say-
done the movie,
Yeah, you can
though.
say no. His body, his choice.
When Max comes out of the movie, in the middle of the movie, what is significant about the music that plays in the theater?
Ryan.
Taylor.
Did Robert Forster make the song?
I'm mean, Robert Forster. Ryan, did I hear you ringing in?
Wolf was one of the movie posters behind him.
No.
I don't know what the fuck that
That's-
means.
Another one was an American president.
It was the American president, yes.
All right. Oh, yeah, that's true. Okay, wait, that is true, so I'm going to give you a point.
Wait, you can just say true facts?
That's what I...
Why does he get a point for
That's
that?
what I have written on my card, and so he gets the point. Don't be a grade grubber, Taylor. Listen.
Don't be a Mike,
Mike.
Taylor.
Take
Mike.
one of those, Mike.
It spells out the rest of the movie's plot.
It doesn't spell the rest of the spot. It is the music also from the end credits of Jackie Brown.
Oh.
There's a lot of really
So it's
weird
like he was walking out of the movie.
internal
Jackie Brown.
meta. Yeah, so it's what is playing at the end of Jackie Brown as well, which is weird. Keaton plays Ray Nicolette in what other movie?
Ryan.
Ryan.
Out of sight.
Out of Sight. That's so interesting. He plays the same character in two different movies made by different directors, but based on books written by the same dude. All right, you can do
Neat.
that. You can do whatever you want. What Star Trek The Next Generation actress makes a brief appearance in the movie?
Taylor.
Robert De Niro. Not Robert De Niro, famously not a Star Trek The Next Generation actress.
It's the only thing he's known for. He lost and gained so much weight to not be on Star Trek.
Mike.
You warp into me? You warp into me? You must be warping to me because I'm the only spaceship out here.
I have warpy nickels. Craig.
Oh, I think you'll find that joke tracks quite well.
Mike.
Mike.
Dax? I don't know.
Ryan.
Ryan.
Whoopi Goldberg.
Not Whoopi Goldberg.
But she was on Star Trek The Next Generation.
But she was on
Yeah.
Star Trek The Next
She
Generation.
played the cafe owner.
She played the bartender.
Hey, you want a cinnamon bun?
Denise
Space?
Crosby, who famously played Tasha Yar.
That's who I meant by when I said Dax.
It was Tasha Yar. She played the defense attorney.
Oh, of course.
Jackie Brown is based on a book by what writer?
Ryan.
Ryan.
Elmore Leonard.
Elmore Leonard. Ryan. Who do I always get him confused with?
Ryan.
I feel like I heard Taylor first.
James Elmore.
No, not
Ryan.
James Elmore. Ryan.
James Elroy.
James Elroy.
All right.
Very good. I still don't really know the difference between the two of them.
I don't either.
Whose idea was it for Ordell to have Crypt Keeper hair and that awful goatee?
Ryan.
Ryan.
Craig.
It was not
Mike.
Taylor. It was not my idea, Mike.
Samuel L. Jackson.
It was Samuel L. Jackson himself.
It has to be.
That's such a good choice.
It is horrifying.
I was.
Yeah,
My
dude.
answer was going to be me.
When he unleashes all of it, oh my god!
Keep the hat on, brother.
And is that not the same wig from the Crypt Keeper?
Yeah, it looks
That's
like-
the same exact hairline and everything.
That's how he woke up every morning. All right, I'm going to make a quick death pun, and then I'm going to go about my day.
How did Quentin Tarantino spend the first few weeks after Jackie Brown's release?
Taylor.
Taylor.
Bunch of cocaine.
Ryan.
That's probably true, Ryan.
Jerking off on feet.
That's probably true as well.
Mike.
Mike.
In the theater, rewatching Jackie Brown.
In the
jerking
theater.
off on feet.
Rewatch with a light stick.
That's how you respond when your mom's like, "What are you doing?" That's what you text.
jerking off on feet.
I'm in the theater, Mom. Go away. I'm just jerking off on feet.
So
Now-
she never knows what you're really into.
Now that we have covered both movies, who wins in a confrontation between Jackie Brown and the bride?
Ryan.
Ryan.
In a fight, it's the bride by a lot.
Yeah, but I'm just saying a confrontation. So these two,
Oh, it's Jackie Brown.
they
We'll
have run
outsmart her.
afoul each other.
Taylor.
Okay, so Ryan's answer is that
Jackie Brown.
Is Jackie Brown Taylor?
Samuel L. Jackson.
Okay, Mike.
Mike. No matter who wins, we all win.
No matter who wins, we all win.
Do you think they mentioned, this is so not like Aliens and Predator right now?
I have to say, it's got to be Jackie Brown. I don't think anyone could beat her at anything ever. She's playing three-dimensional chess, and the rest of us are playing two-dimensional
That's normal chess. Chess is 3D.
No, it's only 2D.
It's on
There's
a
only
2D plane.
There's only 2 dimensions of travel
Just
with
because,
the pieces.
just because the pieces stick up from the board, dum-dum.
That's
doesn't mean-
three-dimensional.
No, absolutely not. If you're playing 3-dimensional chess, you have to be able to move the pieces in 3
You
dimensions.
only move in 2 dimensions.
Can Drop Pad give Greg a point?
Sure.
Perfect use of Dum Dum. That was classic Dum Dum use.
It hurt.
Classic dum-dum situation, and Ryan, you were right to point it out. When we come back, another one of our tasty questions. What is the best part of Jackie Brown? Pam Grier or Jackie Brown?
Ooh, Pam Grier, I think. It's so much about how she carries herself and just is a person.
Uh-huh. You love that in a woman.
I just love when a woman is a person.
Nerd.
But I really think Jackie Brown. There's a
Wow.
What the fuck?
Very,
bro?
whoa, no.
Jesus.
We've got an ornery audience. I wish tonight wasn't the first night we liked them.
The audience was so delayed. I don't know who they're booing. There.
This is why we don't put the Joe Rogan show on the marquee.
The audience is very far away, so it takes time for their booing to reach us.
The
okay?
Doppler effect of podcasts.
But I do think there's a certain amount of the writing that gives Jackie Brown a lot to do. She's very I'm just gonna tell everyone exactly what I'm doing all the time, and that's just how I'm gonna fuck people over. But I think Pam Grier's carrying and Pam Grier inhabiting the character and having all those conversations about I'm aging, my career isn't what it used to be. If I when she is talking about how if she burns out on this, she
that the
doesn't
shut up
know
button?
she's gonna have to. Yeah, whatever.
What fun verbal tap dancing I've never seen.
I don't want to pull a jazz thing. You guys all know about jazz?
It's what you don't hear.
I
The
feel like
jazz is
that's
the best when you don't listen
That's
to
the
it.
music from Star Wars.
It's the
That's
bitches
jizz.
brew.
Yeah. The music from Star Wars, everybody.
Yeah.
It's called Jizz.
It is by Figrin Dan and the modal nodes.
Look, you're gonna figure Dan. You're
gonna modal
get
nodes.
jizz. The first 30
If
minutes.
you're fingering Dan, you're gonna get Jizz.
We know fingering Dan.
Stop saying making that finger and dance.
It's not cool. Wasn't cool the first time. Certainly not cool now.
And in between every song, the first 30 minutes of Jackie Brown, Pam Grier is asked tons of questions, and she just refuses to respond.
Yeah.
Not like short, cold answers.
Yeah.
She just sits there and like raises an eyebrow and lights a cigarette, even if she just lit one 10 seconds before.
And then people just move on.
Oh, it's so intimidating, even though they have all the power. It's scary as hell.
And those cops are like, well, I guess they're not arrested.
Oh, fuck.
And she does something that I really like as a plot device, which is she's a character who just tells people what they're going to do.
Yeah.
And people aren't used to that because she just allows for, like, no resistance to what she wants you to do.
She is Tarantino's Anton Chigurh. She just walks
Yeah.
in and is like, here's what's going to happen. And they're like, oh, fuck.
People are like, all right, okay, that's what I'll do then.
I'm going to flip this coin and steal $500,000 from you, and you're going to say yes to it.
But going back to what Taylor said about the lying, like what she's figured out is everyone's lying constantly. What I'm going to do is I'm going to tell 90% truth all the time. Like she tells everyone, like, oh, here's what's up. And then picks one detail to keep her in charge.
Because
like when in the bar when she's talking to Hurdell, Jackie's like, oh, no, I told the cops everything.
Yeah.
He's like, what
Yeah,
the
why would you do that?
She's like the one character, and maybe because she's the one female lead character, but she's the one character who isn't concerned with how anybody views her. So she'll tell the truth and look shitty and then hide back anything else. And they're like, well, I would never say anything that would make me look shitty.
Yeah.
So she must be telling the full truth here.
That and like all of the silence in the first part is it feels like she's just like being withholding and kind of a bitch or cool and above it all, but she's just getting all of the information.
Right.
Yeah.
So then she can just knock all the cards down in the rest
She
of the
has
movie.
several conversations in the first, 40 minutes of the movie where she just collects a ton of information and does not give any information back at all.
And I will give you a tip if you were ever a freelancer dealing with clients. That's the most important part. Is just gather requirements and then you execute, but you leave them out of it. Do not tell them the rest of what you're doing. You just listen to what you need.
She's just a UX freelancer.
Yes,
ahead
that's
of her
it.
game.
That is entirely what she is.
I think a huge part of her being a flight attendant, it's plot-wise, it's just so she can be the one who brings the money to the States. But I do think flight attendants deal with thousands of kinds of people all day, every day, and they just have to plaster a look on their face. And I think Jackie Brown has learned how to work literally every kind of person.
I mean, airplanes have like all of the types of the worst people, right?
Yes.
And every flight. And the other thing too is the nonstop service. Like I've worked in service industries where I have other jobs besides service, but like flight attendant, it really feels like
No
you are
smoke
only
breaking it.
below at all times, and this is why she's just been watching and waiting and ready.
She's such a badass. They're can we search your purse? And she's like, she knows she's got money in there. She's like, yeah, okay. And they find the
stands
envelope,
there.
and then she just likes the cigarette, does not act concerned at all. And then they find the envelope, and they're like, can we also look in the envelope? And she's like, yeah, sure.
But like,
she doesn't
Can't
freak
stop
out
you.
or anything.
or like, please, I'm just a flight attendant. Like, let me go. She's just like, well, I didn't expect this, but I will gain new information by watching you guys work.
And she figures out who dropped the dime on them. Basically, she's able to figure out the whole thing by just encountering these two guys.
where if she got panicky, they wouldn't tell her anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, she reacts in a way that it looks like she called them. She's like, you're doing my plan now, I guess.
I like the part the only time the cops ever have any real power over her is when the jerky detective guy is like, did I say you could smoke in my office? And then 2 scenes later, he's like, light up, go for it.
Absolutely, you
It
can.
is-
Girlfriend.
It's
have
so
fun.
insane that the cop in denim cutoffs and a leather jacket isn't the douchey detective. That's bananas.
And shorts,
crazy.
right? Like,
Yeah.
That's what you're saying?
yeah, denim cutoff shorts. Yeah.
I loved watching him. Michael Keaton was really good in this. So much of the time, you can just see on his face that he thinks this guy he's working with is such an idiot asshole, but there's nothing he can say against him because it's like his partner on this.
Was this the start of Michael Keaton's, if I'm going to go do a scene, I'm going to put in 5 pieces of gum in my mouth and just chew it all cool?
Yes. It's either this or Jack Frost.
It's so much. Well, I think everything traces back to Jack Frost. All of cinema traces back to Jack
To
Frost.
watch that snowman chew gum all the time.
And the snowman playing a harmonica? Classic.
The other thing, too, the reason that I think Greer wins over Brown is that Pam Grier was a blaxploitation star. And that genre of movie was not known for its acting talent. It was known for setting this tone and everyone being down.
Yeah.
And now she has proved that it wasn't that she was a bad actress in bad acting movies. It was, I know exactly what I'm supposed to do. I can blaxploitation act, and I also have talent like in Jackie Brown.
The thing that makes me think that Pam Grier wins out over Jackie Brown is I watched this movie and I thought, I want to watch more Pam Grier movies, not I want to watch more movies like Jackie Brown. Like,
well, the camera absolutely loves her. Like,
Yeah.
you have to be so engaging to have the beginning, like the first 2 minutes of your movie, just be somebody working their way through an airport, and it holds up.
The whole time we were watching, what does this mean? Oh, shit. Her eyebrow twitched for a second. Oh, fuck. What is that?
Do you guys think, is it as simple as that Tarantino is in love with Pam Grier and hates Melanie Types? Because, he is making Pam Grier look like a goddess the entire time.
Yeah.
And Melanie is this, more like what we're used to of hot chick. And, she just becomes not. He doesn't care about that part of her. She's just annoying and stupid.
Yeah, I guess it does seem like a repudiation of one type of woman, which is probably a strike against the movie because there's basically two different types of women. One, the master planner who can outthink everybody, and the other one kind of a mouthy, annoying. Sure, she's sometimes attractive, but she's not even as young as she.
I mean, she's an opportunist. I guess you could say that.
But isn't everybody in this movie? But it does. You could see Tarantino in film school, and this is how he treats women: is he'll hang out with Melanie, but treat her like shit because she hasn't earned it yet. But if somebody has the chance to blow him away, now he'll just be your lapdog.
I'm gonna go back to that point that I made. I thought it sounded interesting. Now I am mad that he did that. I'm gonna change my whole tone on that whole point.
Yeah. Now I'm feeling super angry. In the book, famously, Jackie Brown is Jackie Burke, a white flight attendant. Is there any reason other than just he wanted to put Pam Grier in a movie that there's the switch here?
Well, one, I do think you could have called her Jackie Burke and had it still be Pam Grier. But this is such a Tarantino thing. It's not just
He
I'm
specifically
referencing.
wanted the last name Brown.
Right. I'm not just
Yes.
referencing movies. I need you motherfuckers to know that I'm referencing movies.
Even dumb people should get these illusions.
you don't pick that font for
Yeah.
this movie without thinking I'm gonna think all the way through this title.
Now it's sort of commonplace, but back then he had the copyright underneath it too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It was that was the first time I had seen it outside of the 70s.
I agree with that. Now that's the kind of thing that you would expect to see because of him. But that was totally new when he did it.
But Jackie Burke was put upon and shit on because she was a woman in the book. For Jackie Brown to be black, it's mentioned a couple times in the movie. The cop straight up says, the way that he gets Jackie Brown to, go along with him is what do you think it's going to be like for a black woman? And she also says that at a different point. If I had this background, this criminal record, it might be okay. Maybe I could restart if I was white. But because I am black, I'm fucked.
Yeah,
Right.
it's such a big strike against you. It's such a disproportionately big strike.
It's
Right.
not just black. It's what Malcolm X. They're all just referencing Malcolm X the whole time. Is the hardest person to live a life in America is a black woman, and everybody's yeah, for fucking sure. Even the people taking advantage of it, we know what we're doing.
Yeah.
Life's really hard for you here.
Speed round.
You know what that means? We're going to the speed round.
That's what it means.
First question. Didn't I do it, baby?
Yes.
Didn't I?
Ryan.
Didn't I do it, baby?
Yeah.
Wait, do we
course.
say our names here?
I definitely did.
Ryan.
I definitely did it, baby. Is that song used too much in this movie?
No.
No,
I don't think so.
absolutely not.
Yeah.
The Delphonics fucking rule.
and it shows Max Cherry's obsession.
It's a incredible song. So if you're going to overuse something, that's a good one. But I like how it just kept us on the same path the entire time.
And they start reacting. Isn't it Odell who's just I would not have guessed that from you?
Why doesn't Max go to Spain at the end? We hit on this a little bit, but we have decided that we agree. We think he did not go.
Yeah,
But why?
because he hates Spanish people.
That's,
Just because he doesn't like Spanish people?
talks about how he hates bulls.
He hates paella.
Oh wow! Yeah.
Nobody hates paella.
Well, you're not going to go to Spain if you don't like paella.
I do you think it's that this was his romantic adventure? Was G's few days
Right.
with Jackie, but he is old enough, and maybe he is cynical that he's there's nothing. It will only get bad. I want to keep this fantasy here, and then fucking end it before it hurts me.
I think that Jackie Brown said, her whole thing was I want to get the life I deserve based on who I am and my intelligence, and that is $500,000 in Spain.
Yeah.
And Max's whole thing was I've become jaded and everything's gray, and because of Jackie, now that's not true.
He doesn't even want his money. He just wants give me the 10%. That's how I he has a code.
Yeah.
And then he mailed it. Is that the best way to get the money to her?
Yeah,
He
probably.
mailed her $490,000.
Yeah,
All right.
nothing goes wrong in the mail.
Did you get my package? What do we make of that sex scene? What are we to make of that sex scene? What's going on there?
Taylor. Do I have to buzz in? I don't care. Robert De Niro is a weird, out of shape dude who likes to grunt a lot.
Wait, Lewis or Robert?
Both.
Both dudes.
And Bridget Fonda is a very attractive woman who is wearing a weird necklace as a belt.
Oh, well, that's the 90s, dude.
Yeah.
That was
Welcome to the 90s,
that was a
Taylor.
major fashion piece in the 90s.
Do not get that.
Belly chains?
Don't understand. No,
Wait.
not a big fan of belly
Did
chains.
you see her belly? Because it's what
It's
it
in
says.
chains.
It was off the chain.
What it says is like, I am so slender I can just wear a thin
Whatever.
metal belt.
And the thing too is that like with all these tropes, and you go to like poke holes in them, it's always so obvious. And this is de-romanticizing everything about Pulp Fiction, and this is part of it. You know, like it's not as obvious, but like this is how sex kind of happens sometimes.
Yeah.
And they're these empty people who have fucking nothing. So these 3 minutes we're watching going, that's gross. They're like, it's gross, but at least we didn't keep watching TV. Like,
Yeah.
What a culture clash though to go from Boogie Nights last week to this scene this week.
Yeah. To make it sexy?
Hey, can we make it sexy?
How are we supposed to feel about Ordell Robbie? Does Jackson make him fearsome, or is there something more going on?
he thinks he's fearsome, but the Crypt Keeper hair and all of it's just a guy trying to put together a fearsome outlook. I think that the gun scene in the beginning is so important because the characters maybe think he's important, but everybody treats him like a joke and then are surprised when he kills them because he's a fucking joke.
I mean, Melanie comes in right away, and she's like, he just watches that to impress people, and I think he got all of his information from this video
But,
of girls shooting guns.
People do sell him short, right? Because Lewis says like, "Oh, I don't know about that."
Yeah.
You know, like because he does have a good amount of money. He's got making a huge markup. He just seems like he's on the beginning part of really being established doing this. And I think part of it is you can't just kill all your associates all the time. I don't think that really works as a long-term business strategy.
Which I think is why he's not the Anton Sugar of the movie, and every movie needs one, is that, like, it's not just I am a psychopath who murders at will. Like, it's because I want you guys to think I'm cool and also to, like, fix fuck-ups. But, like, we see him think about them all, and all he more than money, he wants people to say, like, damn, Ordell, you're really tough.
Yeah.
But if he cared more about the business and the money, he would never have to kill anybody ever. He's been doing this for decades.
If he was just good at it, yeah.
And is fucked up. But he's still living in a pretty shitty, like, he's good for the lower tier of this kind of crime.
I mean, he doesn't live anywhere, right? He bounces between three.
And he's like, look, I got 3 girls I don't really like, and they have apartments. I'm dope.
And they really hate me. They say bad things about me the second I walk out of the room. At 2.5 hours long, does any character, scene, or segment feel superfluous?
Now, in hindsight, definitely at times I was like, why? This is long. But in hindsight, fucking no.
So while watching, I was a little unsure.
I don't think any scene feels superfluous. I think you could cut down a lot of scenes. Like, you can strip away some of it. Like,
but the crazy thing is that I would want them to strip away plot. I don't want them to take away any hangout moment, you know?
And I think there's stuff, everybody's bored all the time in this movie. I think the point is, none of this is sexy. It's about the mundanity of all kinds of life, even crime. And so Lewis is just bored as hell watching this, like, has-been showgirl dance in front of him, and Samuel Jackson's like, yeah, I've seen that too. Like, everything is boring, because that's what life is.
We didn't really talk about Robert De Niro in this movie. What do you guys think of his performance here?
the most perfect performance I've ever seen on film. Like,
I like he has nothing to do. He's not supposed to do anything, and I think he does a really good job of it.
Because it's a combination of, Taylor, what you said, Vincent Vega getting older, and then also all of Robert De Niro's characters. You know, like, you do get old, and you can't breathe, and you're just boring and bored all the time.
And he's so big, and here he's just so tired. It reminded me of in what that not Requiem, was that show on? That weird show where the guy got out of prison is very quiet. You've been telling me to watch it for years. A few episodes. Nope. He has so many. He has a fucking list nobody watches except for him.
Cool. The Americans?
So good. But it's when you get out of prison for that long, you don't know how to talk to people, and you don't want to fucking try anymore. Like, I'm just going to be quiet, and I guess I'm here because I don't have anywhere else to be.
And he does so fucking much with just, like, his eyebrows, like, looking at people, and he's like...
At one point, he pulls them off and throws them at Melanie.
Yeah.
Which is impressive.
It's just like every moment is like...
And that's how she dies.
Yeah.
And I don't like...
Eyebrowed to death.
I do not love Ordell's treatment of women, but he says to Lewis, like, after he shoots her, like, you didn't just, like, try to do something, and he's just tired and old, and
But
like
that do
refuses
something
to think.
is Popper
It is
in the
Puncher,
Mouth.
Yeah,
Right,
and it's
yeah.
funny coming from Odell, who has also just killed people who don't need to be killed.
Did anybody else feel like that made you confront the fact that that maybe you think it's more wrong to hit a woman than it is to shoot
Yeah, that is weird.
Because isn't that the kind of the position the movie's making there? It's like, well, he shot her to death, sure.
Like, you can shoot a dude,
But-
but just hit a woman.
But don't hit a woman. That's wrong.
The best solution would have just been like, don't do anything.
Yeah.
You know what? The best solution would be
How
don't
about-
do crime.
Don't forget where the fucking car is.
Yeah. You know what? Yeah.
How
That's
about
the,
that, Lewis?
But we've all had that fight.
I think that's the central theme of the movie is remember where your car is.
If you were gonna do a big crime, though, do like remember where you parked.
Yeah.
You don't want to get out and just be like, oh man, this whole thing looks.
She was right to make fun of him. It was like, oh, is this why you got caught robbing a bank? You couldn't remember where the car
Yeah.
was? You fucking idiot.
That made me like her so much more than the rest of the movie. I was like, that's hilarious.
It definitely made me feel like I related to her or was married to her. Definitely.
Well, that is the end of our super speedy speed
No.
round. I'm going to tabulate the scores, and when we come back, I'll tell you who won, and we will try to guess how far Jackie Brown's going to go in our bracket. I have tabulated the scores, and only I know the winner. But in a moment, you will all know it as well. Taylor,
yes.
with 20 points. You
Feel like I did it.
That's disappointing.
I feel like I know.
That's bad. That was a bad
right,
one.
all right. cool.
Disappointing.
You
His
did
lack of points?
you did a bad one.
All right.
Okay, Mike, I'm going to give you one more point, which is going to get you up to 26, which is
That's almost as many as me.
that's okay-ish. But Ryan taking it straight to the house with 40
What the
points.
shit?
Shit.
There's something going on.
A new record.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Perhaps a long con. So Ryan, you
Fighting
are the
loses
champion
game.
tonight. You are the best friend tonight.
I am probably among the most modest, humble people that Mike and Taylor knows, but
That's very true.
I feel like it's time to ask Greg if you're ready. Is next week Taylor and Mike versus me? I feel like this is what we need to do.
Oh, that's not. That's fuck your.
Because I'm tired of
wow.
yawning. I'm just tired of yawning.
Wow.
I like that idea. I think that's really good. I think that'll help me win.
The crowd does
I might not even
like-
come back next week. This is horse shit.
Mike is thinking about storming off. I can tell. I've seen his
I'm
storming
so
off
close to
face.
storming.
Or at the very least, if you don't come back, just turn into a robot and go in water. And that's, I think, your best sound. That's what you should do next week.
Now, we
Make you
know
eat
that
those words.
Ryan has won and that we are in the presence of two losers.
That's me.
Will Jackie Brown be a winner or two individual losers?
No, I think it sucks. I think it's a bad movie.
Greg, I think we only know one thing right now, and that is sorry, Titanic.
Yeah.
And then I don't fucking know, dude.
I have to say, I was pretty bullish. I thought it was going to do well before
Thank
we
you for
started.
defining. I didn't.
Before we started the bracket, I thought this is probably like really the true number one seed, the stealth number one seed.
And this show is like, it is coasting on like a bunch of upticks in Jackie Brown stock. Like,
Yeah.
it has been talked about as a while of like unappreciated, underrated.
And watching it only cemented that for me.
Yeah.
I just don't think the combination of being enjoyable, being interesting, having something to say, it's setting a really, really high bar. Nothing has touched it so far. Honestly, I feel like I'm ready to say I liked it more than I liked Boogie Nights. Not by a lot. Boogie Nights is a good movie as well, but this I think is a more enjoyable experience.
It's less heavy in the way Boogie Nights is heavy.
Yeah. Taylor, what do you think? How do you like it going forward?
I like it so far. It is. I think it's about tied with Boogie Nights for me, and I think LA Confidential is like maybe like a centimeter ahead of those two for me right now.
Yeah.
But I feel very similarly about LA Confidential and this movie. It's going to be very difficult for me to make a final decision at the end of this.
That's the thing is that you
Well,
sort
that's
of,
what the whole last two shows is just us complaining about how we have to do the thing that we
Yeah.
built our podcast around.
It feels like every other season was like a little bit easier, but this one it seems like is heavy loaded.
Wait, why can't we just have a plaque that's like mostly LA Confidential, but also Boogie Nights and Jackie Brown tied?
Yeah.
You guys are all forgetting we're about to watch Men in Black. So
And
it's
Galaxy
anybody's
Defenders.
game.
Is that what's next, Men in Black?
No, it's a few from now. But I'm just
Okay.
saying,
What
don't
a-
forget. Don't sleep on it.
What a momentous step backwards that would be to go right into that.
I think it would be great. I think Men in Black is probably the favorite to win it all.
No other
Are you-
movie that we're watching has a rap about the movie we just watched.
Yeah.
That's true. Although Jackie Brown, I think, would have had a very good rap going out.
I'm Jackie Brown, and I'm here to say
No other show is going like the Men in Black will have just the four of us just screaming sugar water the entire time, like Men in Black will.
Sugar water. Sugar water.
Well, Ryan, as the winner, you have said that you would like us to vacate the premises. Is
That would
true?
be wonderful, guys.
All right.
Ego
well,
maniac.
Guys, let's all get up and walk out.
I need some time. Thank you. I want to thank the audience. I love how you guys booed for Taylor and Mike and never for me. That was awesome. Yes, I know. And how you guys make that noise every time I take off my shirt and show my six-pack. Yeah. That's it. But I have to do commercials, guys, before you leave. So I'm going to bring out some of... I know. But how about this? I will not be doing the commercials.
they were slow.
I appreciate that the audience from Wheel of Fortune just came right in here.
I hope you did not masturbate today.
Okay. Hope's broken, baby. All right. So, coming in to tell us about some websites is, of course, my personal trainer, the guy who gave me these six-packs, Sherfin Knob Man.
I'm Sherfin Knobman, and I was more than happy to give you both of those six-packs.
I have two on my
Listen,
tummy.
you've been working out really hard, and you got 12 packs.
So, Sherfin, explain what I looked like before I got to you.
You're looking at like a one-pack. Mm-hmm. You got a big belly. You had super short arms. You had flipper feet. Your hair was like just one long noodle growing out of your head.
And because of sit-ups, you were able to fix all of that.
I got them arms super long, kind of buff. Your hair now is multiple noodles. Your flipper feet are tinier flipper feet, but your swim speeds are way up.
It's two flipper feet now instead of that one big flipper
Yeah,
I used
you
to
don't
have.
just have the one mermaid flipper foot. That's weird.
Do you find me more attractive now with my double six-pack than before?
You know what? I hadn't seen it before, but now, yeah, I think I'm taking a liking to the two six-packs. It's very good. I like the way it sets off your smaller flipper feet.
You're a celebrity personal trainer. Who are
Guilty
some of
as
your other
charged.
celebrities?
I've done a lot of work with Noah Wiley. Maybe
Very famous buff dude, Noah Wiley.
You know the Prime Minister of France, Macron.
Uh-huh.
I've done a lot of stuff with his wife.
How's she look right now?
You know what? Kind of old, but still like keeping it tight. I gotta say, you know Peter Fonda. He recently died, and I just want to say, on that night, I was with my friends, and I have that alibi.
I love the fact, though, that because Peter Fonda was your client and you had one more session with
Yeah.
him, even after he died, you were in there making him do sit-ups.
Well, I've got a cancellation policy. You know how it is. You have to give me at least a year's notice if you're going to cancel a session with me, because I got flying all the way out to France for Macron's wife. Like you can't have me just on retainer.
So you're having an affair with a world leader's wife and you're flying out there every time?
No, well, I'm just working her out. Right? We're just, no, I'm sorry. I'm not.
What is her name?
I'm trying not to be suggestive. She's Ms. Macron. She's famous.
Ms. Macron.
Yeah,
Taylor, get the fuck off the stage,
sorry.
dude. Go downstairs.
Well, she's French, so if you're French, you're single to me, right? That's like, what's Pierre gonna do? Smoke a cigarette at me?
Do the
Come on,
French
man.
just call it kissing when you eat out their
Yeah,
butt?
dude, it's just regular kissing. They just, what they call French bread?
What's that?
Baguette, man. It's crazy.
That's so crazy. I've never heard a crazier thing.
I went there and I was like, seriously? What are the chances?
How did you handle that when you heard that?
Honestly, I had to collect myself, man. I was just like, wait, hang on. Ms. Macron, are you... First of all, I was like, is this a prank? Because I thought for sure it must be some sort of elaborate ruse. But no, dude, that's not... They got, seriously, a completely different language over there that they're speaking like 90% of the time.
Surfing?
USA.
Would you
Or is this just a word association?
yeah, that's what we're doing.
Yeah, okay,
also, I
cool.
appreciate anytime we're talking about France, you have to re-announce that
Dude.
you're part of the state.
I just call it freedom. I don't even like to say the name of the country.
Is there any websites that you want to tell us about?
Definitely. You want to go to yourpopfilter.com. That's where you can get any of your podcasts, any of my workout videos. We'll probably start posting those there pretty soon. Other interesting French facts that we know. Or go to Amazon/yourpopfilter and do your regular shopping for kettlebells, kettle bars, fiber bars, whatever. And then these fine gentlemen get a little something.
Have you met them downstairs? What do you think of them?
I sort of shoved past them. You know what? Honestly,
Very easy to shove past, right?
Yeah, what I'm seeing is people who are skipping leg day a lot, and who have never seen French bread one time in their whole lives.
Skipping leg days and also doing way too much skipping.
Yeah.
Like, why do they skip everywhere?
They just skip everywhere holding hands, and it's disconcerting.
And then a little kiss in between each skip.
Yeah, dude. And just like singing children's nursery rhymes.
But like in the lowest voice they can.
But at the other end of like a hallway when the lights are all weird.
I have good news. You don't ever have to see them again, but I have to see them every
Are they
week.
dead?
Yeah, I killed them.
Excellent.
Thank you so much, Servant.
All right.
Here to tell us about some other shows is Makeup Magnet Sephora Magora.
What's up, guys? I'm Sephora Magora, and I'm here to tell you about my new products. I've got concealer, I've got ultra concealer, I've got hyper concealer. No one's going to be able to see you if you put this stuff on.
So we just go full Invisible Man?
Yeah, see, a lot of people don't know that when I started Sephora, my company, I actually just wanted to create invisibility potion because I love those Wile E. Coyote cartoons.
So that's what that's the inspiration is Wile E. Coyote cartoons.
Yeah, I always wanted to look exactly like Wile E. Coyote, and I made all these products, and it turns out they have other uses, and people seem to like them.
Sephora Magora, you're also the inventor of the invention where like it looks like a catapult that's going to shoot things that way, but it instead shoots you the other way very far.
Oh, yeah, that took me about 20...
What is that for?
Well, it took me about 25 years to develop that, and basically I just wanted to imitate the cartoon so that if I am ready to launch myself over a wall, instead the catapult launches backwards and it kills several people every time we use it.
You know what's stupid is that you had already said that you were inspired by those cartoons, and then I talked about something from the cartoons. That's what you were inspired by. That's the obvious answer.
Yeah, if you ask me anything else about the cartoons, I'm going to say, well, yeah, that's where I got the inspiration.
I will not do that, I promise.
Okay.
I know that you're interviewed all the time, and it's all the same questions.
Oh, no one interviews me. It turns out no one really wants to hear what I have to say, so I'm an open book.
I do want to talk to you about your invention, though, where it's like a giant rocket, and then you get on it, and you pull the cord to ride it, and then bad stuff happens.
Oh, yeah, well, that was originally actually a funny story, a masturbatory aid. It turned out it had other uses just like the other stuff, and so now that's how we go to space. I talked to Elon Musk, and we've got a whole thing going on.
Do you?
Yeah. We send. It's called the Dragon rocket. And it launches up. It's a part of the International Space Station.
Can I get the gossip? Can you spill the tea? Does Elon Musk wear concealer?
Oh yeah, no, he's primarily invisible. The concealer's the only thing that you actually can see. He's actually his body's fully. He's got a Hollow Man situation going on.
Sure,
it's a real weird thing that he's got. I don't like hanging out with him a lot. I think he might be a vampire. I'm unconvinced that he's a human being.
Tonight we did Movie of the Year.
Whoa, okay.
I appreciate the support. Is there any other pop filter shows that you've heard of?
Oh, yeah. There's the OCD, which doesn't have any other uses. It's just a podcast where two guys talk about the television show OC, which I'm a big fan of, personally.
You love that show, right?
Yeah, I love that show. Anyone who doesn't love that show is probably a piece of shit. Real piece of human garbage. Doesn't deserve life. Should be just shoved off into a raft and lit on fire. But anyway, I like that show, and I also like the Superhero Hour. It's where some guys talk about superhero television show, which is close to cartoons, which is personally my favorite thing in the universe. I can't get enough of them.
Yeah, you got the Toon thing.
Yeah, I've got the Toon fever.
All right, Sephora Magora, get the fuck out of here.
All right, see you later.
Thank you so much. Here to tell us about Twitter and Instagram and all of our various social medias is the first ever talking fainting couch.
Well, hello.
Hi, fainting couch.
How are you doing today? You look a little sleepy. You want to come down?
No, okay, hold. I'm not about to faint right now. I appreciate
you
it.
Sure?
What happens if I do faint right now?
Oh,
catch you, motherfucker. I'll catch you in my arms and cozy into a little nap.
What happens after that?
Oh, you got a case of the vapors. You never find out what happens after that. Everything's just relaxing.
I also noticed this vent on the side of you fainting couch that says vapors, and there's a vent.
Yes, that's why. I mean, you have vents too. I don't want to talk about your vents. You don't talk about my vents. Everything be cool.
So your vent is secret that says vapors, and then the button up top that says release the vapors.
Yes, I'm just saying maybe you should stop wearing that. Press this belly I fought shirt, and we don't talk about nothing.
Something smells odd right now, like some sort of goat fart. And I do feel a little like I'm about to pass out.
That's what happens. I'm going to say that is circumstantial evidence, not directly linked yet. You want to talk about causation or correlation?
Have you ever been a witness in a murder trial fainting couch?
Maybe, but I can't legally talk about it because the NDAs.
What did your parents do?
Oh, my parents? Well, my father was a chemist.
A chemist?
Yes.
Sure.
And my mother was one of the top paid assassins throughout all of Europe and Asia.
Okay, I'm so sorry. I did not expect this answer. 2 humans? That's what they did? 2 humans?
Oh, no. My father was a lamp. I just said his job. You never asked what he was.
He was a chemist lamp.
And my mother? A human female, yes.
Human female assassin and a lamp made a fainting couch.
Yeah, what are your fucking parents?
They're just 2
I
humans that
don't
made a
judge.
human.
That's weird. I've never met somebody like that.
Wow, the tables have been turned. Now I am embarrassed about...
So we're going to bring my siblings into this? You want to talk about the turning tables?
I have met your sister fainting table. Not as comfortable as you are.
Yeah, I like fainting table. She does her own thing. None of us do like that lazy Susan, though. Let's not bring her up at all.
Yes, good call. We have some social medias, Fainting Couch.
Oh, you want to brag now at me? I got social media, too, at Fainting Couch.
Tell us about the pop filter social medias.
What about them?
What are they?
Oh,
Why are you here?
I don't know. I just wander from place to place solving crimes or fixing problems people seem to have. Most of the time, the problem is they don't faint enough in life. But here, you go to @YourPopFilter on the Twitter, and you'll love it. You all have such a good old time over there on that Twitter. And after that, you're a little bored with words. You want to look at some pictures? Go over to @YourPopFilter on Instagram.
Thank you, Fainting Couch.
No
Get the fuck out of here.
Problem. I'll see you later.
I do not like the way that you say that.
But you won't see me.
And finally, to tell us about all the ways that you can contact us is 3. I think it's Margin, and Cargin. 3 mouse hunters in the middle of a big mouse hunt in the movie Mouse Hunt.
But here's what we got to do to get that fucking mouse.
Okay! I can't believe there's 3 of us. I'm surprised.
We came here. First, there was just one of us.
I hate to interrupt, but did you guys save this conversation until you got on stage?
Yeah. Well, we've been talking about it for a while.
Coggin. I can't believe me, Moggin, even exists.
We really don't like to do this beforehand.
Nobody's ever just put some cheese out. And then I'm just going to have a trash can in my hands, and Kajin and Majin, you distract the mouse when it comes out. It sees that cheese, and it's like, oh, shit, who are they? And trash can on the head.
How about this? We cyberbully it until it offs itself.
Oh, yeah. The best cyberbully, it posts something, and we get nobody to like that post.
Downvote you to hell, bitch.
Hey, what about this? What if we steal his parents and we blackmail them? We put their heads on sticks and say, "Hey, this is going to happen to everyone you love."
I'm sorry. Your idea to catch this mouse is to catch 2 other mice?
Yeah, well, I figured like we get the guy, we got to get his friend.
I feel like Margil is the Fredo of the 3 of you.
By that time, we'd be really good at it.
Yeah, I think
we would have already successfully
practice runs
done
are
it
important.
several times.
But what I like where your head's at, Marvin. But what's the blackmail part of this plan? You said kill his parents, put their heads on sticks. And where's the blackmail?
Give us this money or we won't apologize.
We're going to pin this on you, you little shit.
Oh, that's where
How about
Marvin comes into play.
I'm going to tell him I'm going to frame him and send him to mouse jail, to mouse court.
You know what they do to good-looking mice like you in the big house?
The crowd can all see that despite your voices. You guys are all devastatingly handsome.
Wait, what do you mean? Our voices are great.
Couple
These
things.
were wonderful original characters.
Can we all tell that I'm the youngest?
No, I think that is actually fair.
I feel like
I thought you were 93 years old.
I'm simultaneously the thinnest and the tallest.
Yeah, you're very tall, very thin. You're a demolitions expert in our mouse hunting operation.
I'm
Couple of
always-
things. Hold on, mouse hunters. Hold on.
Okay.
You guys were
Mouse
brought up.
hunters assemble.
You were brought up to the stage for a couple of reasons. One, I want you guys to talk about how to contact me and my friends, the people who are supposed to be on this show. And is there really that much money in the string business? Aren't you guys all string millionaires?
We're all making money on string.
Yeah, it's hard being a mouse out here.
It's what keeps society sewn together.
You guys
Oh
want to
my
pay
goodness.
attention to what your mouse hunting brothers are saying?
No. Have you listened to them?
Well, you sound perfectly normal.
Because I got to say that two of you are two of the most handsome people I've ever seen, and one of you is a wobbly trench coat with a bunch of mouses as a face.
Wait. Yeah. We've seen that prank before. Who? Which one? Tell us. We know, but let the audience know.
You guys are mouse hunters. I'm not going to tell you which one.
We're gonna figure it out. We're gonna put all our heads
I'm
together.
definitely a mouse hunter.
Wait.
That's definitely me.
Listen, if one of us was a big, tall, thin pile of mice, don't you think the other two would have figured it out by now?
All right, now I'm just going to go to you, Bargel. I think both of your brothers are tall piles of mice.
What?
No, wait.
This is the second or third I've heard of this.
We were born and raised together, and then there was that one weekend I went away, I came back, they acted a little different and said, don't worry about it, none.
Did they act like big piles of mice?
They might have acted like that, and they were like, nah, this is just how we act now.
We're
we all
all-
go through phases.
We're held together by string.
Where'd you get that? Wait.
That's the whole point.
I like how some mouse had the idea of no, we got to get on the inside, and 300 volunteered to become two different people.
There's two mice people here.
Oh my God, you were the dumbest.
Hey, one of them's Jasmine Mice and the other's Basmati.
Margin.
This pile of mice, tell us about the email.
Okay, well, email's like an electronic mail that you can type into a
This
computer.
pile of mice, tell us about email.
You could send an email to contact@yourpopfilter.com, whether you're one or many different mice all stitched together with the string from your vast
Those
empire.
really are the only two options.
Yes, doesn't matter either way. Really.
Bargel, tell us about a phone number.
I'll tell you what I think the most suspicious thing is. It's a normal human-looking man pointing at other men saying, you're a pile of mice. Do you know what would do that? A goddamn pile of mice.
I got to say, that is the greatest compliment on my looks I've ever received.
You look like
I'm a
really
normal-looking man.
sexy
You want to
pile
call
of mice.
1562 DJ POP? That's 1562 Dr. DJ Pop. You know he's not a pile of mice because he's a DJ and he's a doctor, and Mouse too dumb to be a doctor. And
This pile of
your
mice,
voice.
one of his hands is a,
Oh, it's me, just a pile of mice.
and the other hand is,
It's an even bigger pile of mice held together by string.
Bargel, we have to talk.
I'm going to kill all
You are not good at your
I'm
job.
going to kill all you piles of mice right
This
now.
is like a Matrix situation in which everyone is revealed to be a big pile of mice.
That's the show. I need all
didn't
humans
get
and
that
mice to
movie.
get out of here. Greg, can you come
I'm
back?
signing off as a pile of mice.
Man, I just saw the three realest looking dudes.
They
of
look
all
so
time,
real, right?
dude. Yeah. I looked at them and I was like, nobody here is a pile of mice. Speaking of a pile of mice, next week we will be talking about Goodwill Hunting, starring two different piles of mice. So tune in for that. But until then, keep watching them boobies.